Welcome to our mock interview pro session. If you're gearing up for a paraprofessional position, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into some key questions you might face and how to tackle them with confidence. Let's get started with our first question. Can you share an experience where you teamed up with a lead teacher to improve the classroom environment? What was your contribution and what results did you see? This question aims to explore your ability to collaborate effectively with teachers, highlighting your teamwork skills and the positive impact you can make in a classroom setting. Here are some tips to help you structure your response. Focus on a specific project where you worked alongside the lead teacher. Emphasize your role and the actions you took to support the teacher's goals. Discuss the positive changes that resulted in the classroom environment, using metrics if possible. Reflect on the insights and skills you gained from this experience. Let's look at a sample answer that ties these elements together.
In my previous role, I worked with the lead teacher to introduce a sensory corner in our classroom. I was involved in selecting materials and setting up the space. As a result, we noticed a significant boost in student engagement and a marked reduction in distractions during lessons.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for Paraprofessional. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Could you give an example of how you effectively communicated with a parent about their child's progress or behavior? This question is designed to assess your communication skills, particularly your ability to engage with parents effectively to support student development. Let's go over some strategies to consider when crafting your response. Pick a specific instance that showcases your communication skills. Describe the method of communication you used, such as a phone call, email, or meeting. Highlight what you communicated, focusing on the child's progress or behavior. Share any positive feedback or outcomes from the parent. Discuss how you encourage parental involvement or collaboration. Here's an example of how you might answer this question.
There was a time when I noticed a child having difficulty with sharing during playtime. I reached out to the parent via phone to discuss the situation, highlighting both the challenge and the child's strengths. The parent appreciated my proactive approach, and we agreed on strategies to work on sharing skills together.
Tell me about a time when you resolved a conflict between two students. How did you handle the situation? This question evaluates your conflict resolution skills and your ability to maintain a positive classroom environment by addressing student disagreements constructively. Consider these pointers when forming your answer. Clearly describe the conflict situation. Explain how you approached understanding both students' perspectives. Detail the steps you took to facilitate communication between them. Highlight the importance of teaching conflict resolution skills. Conclude with the positive outcome for both students. Now, let's look at a practical example.
I once observed two students arguing over a toy. I calmly approached them and asked each child to express their feelings. By guiding them to communicate their needs, we reached a compromise for them to take turns. This approach not only resolved the conflict, but also taught them valuable collaboration skills.
A student is consistently disruptive during activities. How would you address this behavior while maintaining a positive learning environment? This question asks you to demonstrate your ability to handle behavioral issues while ensuring a positive and productive learning space. Here are some strategies to consider. Observe the student to identify triggers and patterns in their disruptive behavior. Utilize positive reinforcement to encourage appropriate behavior. Redirect the student to a different activity or task if disruption occurs. Establish and communicate clear and consistent behavior expectations. Collaborate with the teacher to seek additional strategies or support. Let's explore an example answer that incorporates these strategies.
To address a student's disruptive behavior, I would first observe to identify any triggers. I would implement positive reinforcement when they follow directions or participate appropriately. If they begin to disrupt, I gently redirect them to keep them engaged in a different task.
Imagine there is an unexpected school closure. How would you help ensure that students' educational needs are still being met? This question examines your ability to adapt and support students' learning in unforeseen circumstances, ensuring continuity in their education. Consider these key steps when preparing your answer. Communicate with families about available resources and activities. Provide online learning materials or links to educational websites. Plan engaging home activities, such as reading challenges. Encourage maintaining daily routines and checking in digitally. Be available for questions and support through email or phone. Here's an example of how you might approach this scenario.
In the event of a school closure, I would first contact families to share educational resources and activities for home learning. I'd create a fun weekly schedule of learning tasks and suggest online platforms to keep students engaged while they continue their education from home.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free, just grab it below.